Hey everybody, today is May 30th, 2023, and today we're going to talk about the stock market and the recent debt ceiling agreement and how that could affect the market going forward. Okay, before we begin, please read the disclaimer. You can pause this video as you read it. Okay, so over the weekend, Congress came to an agreement to raise the debt ceiling until early 2025, and I believe the terms equal about a $4 trillion dollar increase in the debt debt limit, right? And so right now they are in the process of writing it out and also voting on it. But of course, it has to pass both the House and the Senate, right? So right now there's been growing opposition. A lot of the Republicans say that the speaker rushed and compromised too soon, and they're not really getting the benefits that they wanted. So there could be some opposition as they try to get it passed, right? And what was once June 5th has now been pushed back to June 1st. When we talked about how Janet Yellen said that if we don't raise the debt ceiling by June 1st, we could have a potential default, right? We can run out of money to pay off the obligations the country has, right? But now it seems like that's been pushed back to June 5th. And so this is going to give them a little bit more time to try to get the bill passed, but they really have to start acting quickly because we're getting closer to the deadline, and there's still a lot you need to do logistically, right? You need to get it passed, and it has to go to the president, and there's a bunch of pages that people need to go over, and it's just gonna take a couple days, right? So while they're still arguing about whether or not the deal is fair, and at least for the Republicans, there's still some uncertainty, right? So I'm seeing the market is a bit neutral today. Certain markets like the Nasdaq is up mostly because of the AI-led stocks like Nvidia have been doing very well. But in terms of like other stocks that aren't in the tech sector, they're pretty much flat, right, on the day as we await to see if this deal is going to get passed or whether what we saw over the weekend was just basically more political theater, right? But like I said, if this does pass, then the debt ceiling crisis is going to be delayed. They can't kick down the road again until 2025, right? But that's going to be after the election year. So that's going to take a lot of pressure off of the president and other politicians as they try to get reelected within the next year, right? Okay, so in our last update, we talked about how we basically been going sideways for a year now, between 3,800 resistance, 3,800 support and 4,200 resistance, right? And we're basically been on the upper boundary of this channel. And I will say that like the more you test a certain level, the more it's likely to break through, right? So right now, I've been giving the benefit of the doubt to the bulls over the last couple sessions, just because it went sideways for a while here, right? And the bears try to push the price down. And I even said in my last couple videos that I thought we could fill these gaps. We might even come down and hold these support levels, right? But the fact that we've been basically there's been a lot of upward pressure. See how it's sort of like angling and it's curving up, right? That this is usually a good sign, like this cupping movement, and we might see a breakout out of this range, right? We've also put in higher lows, right? Since the October low, we've made higher lows, and even when we came down to retest this support level at 3,800 in March during the regional bank crisis, we held that level, right? And we've since then had a nice V-shaped recovery above these moving averages, and we've stayed above these moving averages, right? The 50, 100, 200 moving average. So right now, it does seem like this sort of ascending triangle pattern seems to be breaking out to the upside. If we're able to get a deal done, passed and signed by the president within the next 2 weeks, I believe that we're going to have a nice run higher. Take out potentially this resistance level around 4,300, and then of course the all-time high is around 4,800, right? But that is for that's several weeks down the line. So let's first look at what we have to get through immediately, which is of course the debt ceiling crisis. And then of course we have upcoming Fed meetings, and we're going to see if the Fed is going to continue to raise the interest rates, right, which is just over 5% right now. And I've said in the past that once we get to 5%, I think that that's probably getting close to the terminal rate, right? Because I think that we're starting to see a lot of damage. We saw a lot of damage in small banks over the last couple of months, and I think the Fed is trying to be a little bit more conservative now because they don't want to. They're trying to get a soft landing. You don't want to like crash the economy into a hard recession, right? to try and prevent a recession, or if we are going to get a recession, they want it to be a shallow recession, right? So I think that they might either pause or maybe do one more 25 basis points rise. But again, that is something for another topic for in the future. I think that we should definitely get through the immediate dilemma, which is the debt ceiling bill, right? So right now the market seems to be pricing in pretty positive sentiment because we finally got an agreement, but there's still, again, right, there's still a lot of people who are in the Republicans, right, in the House that don't agree with the terms, right? They think that McCartney, the Speaker of the House, that he acquiesced too eagerly to try to under pressure, right? And we already talked about how I've always said in over the last like several videos that this is probably going to be delayed until like the last minute, right? But at least they do have an agreement in principle, and hopefully they'll be able to pass the debt ceiling bill as soon as possible so that we don't have to worry. But like I said, that is to be the case, then I can see us holding this level and breaking above, right? If we're not able to come to a deal, then definitely we'll see the market come. But we've already like had all this space to act as support. So if it does come down, I'm not worried too much. I do think that worst case scenario, if at the last minute they're not able to pass the bill, we might see it plunge down to the 200-week moving average. Fill these gaps. Again, the same thesis I've been talking about over the last couple of sessions, right? But for now, I do think that more likely than not, they'll probably get the deal passed. And because the alternative scenario would just be catastrophic, right? To default our debts, that would be even worse. And I don't think with the election year coming up next year, I don't think politicians want to risk potentially not being reelected, right? So I think they're going to come to a deal, and Republicans might get the short end of the stick. I don't know, but we'll see. And definitely update you as this whole debt ceiling dilemma continues. Just like in the VIX, we did see the VIX come down a bit, and now that we have a deal in place, right? So we had a nice spike. I even said that like we were a bit oversold here. That I wouldn't be surprised if we had like a little, a little spike higher. It doesn't just go straight down, right? But now that we found a base here, we tend to come down, and then we might find a base and go sideways for a while. Maybe another spike, and then down lower. If the market is to continue higher, but overall, things are looking pretty good in the market. We've been going sideways for a year now, and we're starting to see a nice breakout. But another thing that could cause a downward pressure on the market is if the dollar continues to strengthen. We've had a nice uptrend this whole month, right? But the dollar is up 3 weeks in a row, and we had a nice. This could potentially be a bottom, right? Over here, this is previous support that held and it went up. So could this be like a bottom that goes higher? We'll have to see, right? We'll have to wait and see how this develops. Could this be a double bottom, right? If that continues higher, that's going to put downward pressure on the stock market, right? But if the dollar isn't able to take out 105, right? This level, it could end up being a lower high potentially. The continuing sounds lower, but I think the key level to watch is definitely on 100, right? If we break through this support level, that could be bad news for the dollar and good news for the stock market, right? And of course, other risk on assets like Bitcoin, which I'll cover in a video that will also be out today. But for now, like I said, the short medium term, the narrative is going to hinge on the debt ceiling bill, right? If the Congress, the left and the right can come to agreement, get a bill passed and have it signed by the president before the deadline in June, then crisis averted, right? And the market will probably continue up higher. If not, we might see the market plunge down to these moving averages, although I believe that 200-day will hold. And that could be a good time to perhaps buy the dip. But for me, right now, I'm just waiting to see. We're poking our head outside of this resistance area. But like I said, until this is done, you want to be careful, right? And not go too leveraged or take it to outside bets until we have more details of what they're what they're going to do, whether they're going to pass the bill or not. So I'll definitely update you on Thursday. Hopefully there's more updates on Thursday. I'll do a chart analysis on my Twitter page. Follow me, please, at EddieLux_. And yeah, I'll add on to this. I've been having a pretty long thread for a while, and it'll be great to see if we can finally break out of 4200 resistance at least significantly stronger rally higher, right, to retest the new all-time high. But of course, until then, we're gonna have to wait and see what happens in Congress, and I'll definitely update you going forward. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it helpful, useful, or informative, please like this video, leave a comment below, and subscribe for updates. Appreciate all your support. Thank you again, and have a great day.